we'll look at FrostBite a little bit. One thing I like to do whenever I get like a new effect, especially, is to take out operator in its default state, which is just a sine wave. It's the most basic, pure sound like imaginable in the world, really. It's more pure than anything in the world, actually, if you really think about it. It's just a pure sine wave, and I'm holding down one note, and it's exactly that frequency and nothing else, which is pretty cool. If you took out analog, I think this is kind of an interesting tangent, maybe, but analog also has a sine wave, but analog is meant to be a emulation or a physical modeling, actually, of an analog synth. So if I play the sine wave on analog, look at how I get these like little extra, the volume's also a little bit lower here, but look at how I get all these extra frequencies down here. These little harmonics, which I don't get with operator. And that's, I guess, the simulation of the analog circuits and the extra noise that you would get when you use an analog synth. You get some of that extra stuff going on down there. So I always like to take operator and just play around with the presets and see what you get, really. So I'm going to turn it on just to get us going here. This is the initialized preset, the kind of like the default FrostBite. You can both hear and see all the extra noise it adds right off the bat. Now it's like we've got this like frozen world. Sounds like we're in the Arctic or something. Nice. So yeah, there's a bunch of presets obviously you can fool around with, but it does quite a lot just to your basic simple sine wave sound. That's cool. I'm not even doing anything anymore. It sounds like there's a whole other instrument playing. Very nice. So really, like this device is made of 3 different effects: a freeze or like a reverb, really, a ring modulator, and a delay called feedback. And you can reorder these in any way you like. So like right now the sound would go into freeze, then into feedback, then into ring mod. Ring mod is responsible for all that high content out there. These go in order. You can reorder them any way you like. You can put that crazy ring mod thing before. And just by reordering them, it makes quite a difference. Kind of cool. And then you've got an LFO, which is the low frequency oscillator, which is for modulation, or you can even think of it like automation a little bit, I guess. We talked about that before. So you can map this waveform to any parameter on this list, which I think is all of them. And then you just tell it how much. The master section, I think this is a really nice touch that it works this way. You've got control over the dry signal. So you can really hear my actual synth, or we can turn it all the way down. And now we just get the wet, and you can balance them. Turn up the wet if you want, turn in the dry. You can mix them together really nice. So usually you get like just one knob called dry wet, and it just mixes the 2 signals. But I like how you have the ability to raise and lower the volume of each one. It's just kind of gives you a little extra control. Because on a normal dry wet knob, as I turn up the dry, the wet volume would go down. But the wet volume will just stay where it is on this one. And this particular mode button is actually really handy too. Right now, the device is set into serial mode, which means that it's going from the feedback, in this case, since it's first feedback, and then whatever this is outputting is then going into the freeze, and whatever that all is outputting goes into the ring mod. So we're getting a series of effects for serial. And well, I guess we can kind of tell that it does a lot just by moving these different things around like we were doing before. But if I were to set it to parallel, now each one of these is its own separate effect. They don't go into each other. They're just all mixed together at the end. So I can turn on some of these. We can just hear the delay. There's a really fast delay right now. Slow it down. And then we can have the separate ring mod doing that kind of high-pitched thing with the resonance cutoff here. We can have them separate from each other. So it's really splitting your signal into 3 different ways. Well, right now it's 2 because I have freeze off, but. And then we can turn on freeze and have a whole nother layer. Just hear like kind of the noise of this. So it's pretty flexible as far as how you want to combine the effects and make them work together. And you could really just think, whoops, did not mean to click that. You could really just think of it as, I guess if you click on there, you get some options to follow audio thing. You could think of it as like 3 different effects. In this menu, there's a couple things you can do. No, we can change the size. Allow the modules to move. Just small things there. There's a randomize button, which is nice because it just makes everything random. You just roll that dice there. Looks like it turned all the effects off that time. I don't know if there's any kind of rhyme or reason to this. It seems to me like it just totally randomizes stuff. It's not like necessarily like an intelligent randomization that yields like smart results. You just kind of get whatever you get. But it can be kind of fun to just click it a couple times and just see what happens. But I'll go back to this init here. So I'm going to start with just the delay for a minute. Because this is, I think, probably the easiest one to understand. It's really just a delay, much like anyone that you might have in live or whatever software. You got the delay time. Which makes a lot of noise when you turn the knob. Make it into ping pong. Are you guys hearing that in stereo? Is that going left and right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. I forget if I had that set up in Zoom or not. And you can sync the time. So this can go in time with like your BPM in live. Now our division is 1/8 notes, quarter notes, that kind of stuff. And this is the amount, or you might think of this if you're as the feedback. So how many repeats will you get? How many different delays? So the more you put in, the more delays you get. And when you start cranking it up, I've noticed to about like 90-ish, it kind of starts to last a long time, if not forever. It kind of builds up on itself a little bit. So I don't think it's really getting any louder, but if you want the delay to basically keep delaying forever, you just crank this all the way up to 100%. And it seems like it just keeps delaying instead of each delay getting quieter every single time. So this is where I think the fun of this device starts coming in. Mostly when you start cranking the amounts all the way up, or in this case the fade. But now I've got this like bed of noise that I can play around with. I can filter it out a little bit. I can change the filter. I can use this for all kinds of just different effects and sounds. And like Luke, as you were saying, like with automation, you could automate this over time and like create builds and different like ways of tension and release.
Yeah.
Then we got, I guess, how much this would be, I guess, like a dry wet. If you want to think of that. And then we can put the delays. I guess this doesn't make sense on ping pong. But we could balance, like, as we're mixing these together, we could put all our delays on the left. If we wanted to, we could put the reverb on the right. We can spread this out nicely. And then turn up how much we want. So I don't think there's anything like that crazy about this part of it, except maybe when you put this to 100%, you get that nice repeating delay forever. Happen a little faster. Have fun with the filters.
Okay.
I'll go into the ring mod quick. Ring mod's making all that noise. We got this LFO going too, that's why. So turn that down for now. So let's see. Right now it's in sync mode. But I think, for me, I guess sync is cool too. We're getting that movement. I'll turn this off. So here's nothing. But now we can hear the movement. We can change the waveform. Ramp is kind of cool because it creates like almost like percussion. So it makes like this operator, which is again just the sine wave, really basic. It's got this rhythm going now. Stereo, it goes back and forth. So I actually really like the ring mod for that kind of effect on this device. The ramp down's kind of nice too. It's a cool effect. When you take it off sync though, this is when it gets more like traditional ring modulation. Turn off stereo. Once we start getting above 30, and in all honesty, that's not a whole lot different than doing this. Kind of similar to frequency modulation and ring modulation. But let's see. Of course, depending on the type you have, you get different sounds. So if you want to get like tones going on, it's good to have this not in sync. That just becomes a nice sound. And another filter on here. And then the same balance controls as we had before. And we got the ring mod on the filter frequency. A little bit slower. The LFO also has a sync. And you change the waveforms the same way as you do on the other ones. With the LFO, you can get cool sounds too. So, fun. I get lost in that stuff real fast and easy. And I did save what I think is the best for last, though, which is the freeze portion. To me, this is where it gets its name, FrostBite. And that really has to do with this freeze button here, because without it, we've kind of just got... I didn't get anything on that one, but if we do... we get... With the freeze button off, you kind of like bypass this. I don't know if the filter still does anything. It sounds like it does. But you're not actually sending it through. You're not freezing it. We got the different modes, spectral. So when I hit freeze, now I've captured whatever sound that is. It like lets the reverb happen. And how fast that freeze fades out, or that reverb, if you want to think of it, is dependent on the fade knob. And I love turning it up to infinite, because when you get it there, this frozen reverb will last forever. So I've just made really like a sound bed for myself that I can EQ it a little bit if I want to. And if I hit the freeze button again, I can now play over it without it getting froze. So I'm not further like adding to this dense ambient bed that I have in the background. And I can put my delay on this if I want. Ring mod on. And then all the while that freeze is still going. So we can clear it with the clear button. That just goes away instantly. Or we can just turn our fade down and it will fade away on its own. Width is like a stereo spread type of thing, which sounds pretty nice, I think. And this mode button really just changes the kind of character of it. I didn't see a lot of explanation of these different modes in the manual. The manual's kind of brief. They just have like a slightly different feeling to them. This convolution mode. Go to spectral. Spectral seems a little harsher. And then we'll do whatever reverb is. For this sound, I think I'm preferring convolution mode. I turn off freeze again, I got my bed. Just I've noticed with this plugin, I very quickly get swept away. So you've got that crazy freeze going, and it's just like this, like ambience and background that all of your sounds can exist on, and you can kind of have a lot of fun with that. You guys have any questions so far? Any thoughts? No? Okay. So I pulled out this old. I wanted to see what this would sound like going through FrostBite. This is my wind chimes that I sampled. I think I might turn some of these effects off here. I will bring in a version of or an instance of FrostBite here. FrostBite. Sorry, Nick. Kind of crazy. Let me crank this up. This is all really just using these two freeze and feedback here right now. I wanted to see what would happen because I think there's a whole other world of fun things you can do if you start sampling these weird reverbs that you come up with. Maybe I can make this a little different with the green mod. But we had that kind of like nice movement going before. I think it might be nice to put this maybe over here. There's just a little bit of that back and forth thing going on. And I want to see what happens when I record this into audio. Get a signal here, so there we are. And then start playing around with it a little bit. Like maybe put this into a sampler and see what that sounds like. Confused myself for a second. But now I got this in audio. And as we were saying maybe a little bit in the beginning, now you can do everything that you can do with audio to this. We can transpose it. Or we can see what this sounds like. Just drawing some envelopes in there for the heck of it. And maybe I will do a smooth envelopes command here. Simplify envelope. No real reason for doing this other than just to see what happens. But let's put this into a sampler. And I haven't tried this, so I don't know what this is going to sound like. But I think this is a whole other potential universe of use for this plugin, is to play around and put in. So this, I bet, sounds better as like a pad. So I'm going to raise some attack on the amplitude to give it a little rising, a little extra release. It's kind of interesting. Maybe filter it out a little bit. I think that's starting to sound pretty cool.
Sounds like a choir.
Yeah, right? Sounds like, yeah, like almost like you're far away from the choir.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's echoing through the church or something. But even a little delay. What the heck?
Do you have a Foreman filter?
I don't know if I have a Foreman filter, but we've got these guys here
Oh, whoa.
inside live. These are kind of cool. All right, so let's try something weird out. So, all right, I want to try this. I got an audio effect rack. I'm gonna put just a whole bunch of these in here and see what we can do. I feel like I've done this once before with some of these. Oh, no, come back. Here we go. Guess it doesn't matter. Come on, go down. There you go. Nope, you're supposed to go in there. I'll just grab these last two. I'm going to open the chain. We got all these guys here. If I select them all, I can drag them all. Let me just make this small. We don't need to really see it. What am I doing? Select all. And I can, it's hard to grab the edge sometimes. There we go. Then I'll do distribute ranges equally. So all of these formants are EQ8s with different types of emphases that will give us sort of like vowel sounds. So I think what I just want to do is make them kind of fade into each other a little bit. I'll pull this one too, and then do little fades. I guess I don't want you to fade though on the end there. So it sounds like these guys here, they don't have much low end. So I'm gonna just reintroduce that low end. Let's see, starting here. So this is this one. So let me just introduce a new chain, create chain. And this one will happen, come here you, only at the end. Starting there. And I'll put another EQ8 on here. And we'll just let this be the low end. So that should help keep it from getting too weak when I go to these other parts. It might help to bring this filter back up. So I'm guessing you brought up format filter because it sounds kind of like a chorus or choir already.
Yeah.
Now this,
I have that the Slate Digital one, and it's like it really forms it to the ahs and the oohs.
yeah, this is more just like the EQs kind of playing around. But
No, but it's so cool. It
yeah, it's
sounds
different effect, right?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like I mean, obviously they didn't record anything back then, but like if Gregorian choirs were like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sounds like that big hall choir.
Yeah. You can actually have a lot of fun with these. So I just highlighted all of these. Kind of just wiggling them all around like that. We might even go into our Max for Live LFO. Let's see, LFO would be audio. I could just put this, say, right over here. Come on now. And map that to our chain selector. And now it's just moving for us. Probably want to slow it down a little. It'd probably make more sense to put the delay later. Way over here. Definitely has a cold feeling, though. I guess maybe if I play some lower notes, it helps warm it up. Yeah, in granulator. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea too. From Buttons in the chat, that even a granulator could be a fun thing to play around with. What is the one I've been playing with lately? Called Grain Freeze. I forget. This doesn't look like it. Grain Freeze, I think this might be it. So we could take that same sound. Right? You want to let me put that in there? What's the matter? Well, then let's do granulator. Granulator.
So what exactly is the granulator?
Granulator.
I've heard so much about it, and I haven't really looked into it much.
Okay, so the granulator is free. It's on Ableton's site. It's a Max for Live device. It's a type of granular synthesizer. So a granular synthesizer probably just makes sense if I just put it in there. So we got the whole waveform, and we got this little like spot here. Like this is what's gonna loop right there. And we can change how big the loops are. Get like real tiny. It breaks it up into little grains of sound. And then plays them back. We can move where it's happening. And then we can spray it around a little bit, which means when you turn up the spray, you're not just looping in these little sections, you're kind of looping all over the place. So the more I turn up the spray, the more varied my loops get. A lot of play around, a lot of experimenting you can do with it. You can go in here and you get like your normal like amplitude, envelope, filter. Spraying too much. I actually think this sound is already like kind of granulated sounding to begin with, which might be why it doesn't sound terribly different in the granulator. But let's see, if I were to probably if I just used this without this wind chime sound without. Here, we'll just play something on it. I'll drop this in the granulator. And then so now we get something a little stranger. You know, you can put anything in the granulator and you'll start getting weird stuff happening.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's free. There's a really nice video of Robert Henke playing around with it too. He hits, I think, a glass, like a cup glass, and he makes it sound like a whole nother universe. It's nice. So that's you can just write granulator into. It'll come up on Ableton's site.
Yeah, no, that I'm doing that Music Weekly thing, and I just like
nice.
recorded some water for like the ocean because it's like beach related.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really cool to use with that now.
Yeah, I bet it will be. Yeah, like what would I got? Like anything interesting here?
Coffee noises.
Yeah, these are just all kinds of weird sounds I've recorded. Let's try the train ride. I guess that's not very interesting. Got water here. Looks awfully quiet.
That sounds cool. Yeah, it does sound like a video game.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes you just got to click around, you know? There we go. Turning the spray off seems to affect it a lot. Sometimes you get like just the right sound. Wonder if like this is so quiet, it's not gonna really sound good. These are birds. Granulator's cool. I mean, I'm not doing it justice right now. But like even like this, like let's see what this sounds like in real life. It's just a cool way to make weird sounds. Right down. That's all it is. Sounds a lot different coming out of granulator though.
Yeah. I just like weird glitchy stuff, so I'm like already like cool with it in general.
Yeah, if you like that, you'll have a lot of fun with this. I'm always kind of like interested and surprised with how these parameters interact with each other when I use granulator. Always get surprising results. There are some like really fun granular synthesizers out there. Especially like on the iPad. What is the one? Quanta, I think it's called, by Quanta by can't believe I can't think of the name of the company right now. Sorry. It's good though. It's good stuff. There's Borderlands too is another really nice, weird, granular synthesizer type of thing on the iPad. Borderlands, really fun. I think FrostBite definitely has like a granular side to it. You know, like when you freeze these reverb, it definitely has like a it's got like something like that. Even if you've played with the warp modes, there's the texture one kind of has like a green type thing going on. You get cool textures out of it. But I could see like taking something like this sound that we just made, just killing that freeze, and then just having a blast, doing some crazy warp into it. Really pull it apart. Oh, output portal's a nice one, yeah.
What, Portal's granular synth?
It's not exactly a synth. It's an effect. I have it. Let's put it on this one. You know what? This is definitely a plugin that I think is super cool that I've not gone anywhere near as deep as I should. I'm listening to presets right now.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. I'm not even hearing it. I'm listening to the wrong thing. Why? What's happening? Here we go. Yeah. So you can modulate all these parameters, you connect them to the modulators, and all kinds of weird stuff starts to happen. Glitchy. Gets pretty interesting. This might not be the best sound to be doing this on either. So instead of bypass on here, just so you can hear it. This is the dry. We got reverse on here. So it's reversing it. It's doing a couple weird things to it. And it has some nice effects on it too. I could see this being an interesting team with FrostBite. Let's try it over here. Now I can freeze when I get out of there. definitely worth just saying, like, to process what you get from FrostBite a little bit too. Just this auto filter moving around on it. Maybe go nuts. Just pick something. This 808 sounds. Maybe put a compressor on this. Sidechain the compressor. So we were talking about compressors before. What I'm doing now is telling it to listen to the kick drum instead of the signal. So when the kick drum gets too loud, it turns down this track. So it's kind of cool to think there's really just, let's go calm down a little bit. Where are you? There we go. FrostBite will go on forever. You gotta pay attention. But that was just these wind chimes being processed through FrostBite and Portal. I think FrostBite's kind of doing most of the work there. And then a kick, and then just playing the operator with whatever we left on this from FrostBite. But it's a pretty full sound. It feels like a lot going on, and I think it's got like some like emotion to it, thanks to that bed underneath it, that just layer of FrostBite laying down like that cold, chilly background for us. We've got our weird choir. I could put this up. I guess I could put this whole session up. Would that be something you guys would want to download just to play around with? I put this up.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sure.
All right, I'll put it in the Discord. Just put like a link to this. I think the only thing you might have a problem with is if you don't have Portal. I guess. Well, I guess it just won't open that plugin. But everything else should be good. Yeah. Nice. So, you guys think this might find its way into your workflow at all?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been making a lot of like I don't
Voice buttons.
like
Cool.
deep house type stuff. So it's all like atmospheric.
Hmm.
So it's definitely gonna. I was using. I think Ableton has something that is similar to the Frostbite, but better.
Well,
Not better. Not better. Not better. Backwards. The Frostbite is better. I was just mindlessly
well,
speaking.
I mean, I think Frostbite's cool. It does some things you can't really do, but there are some other like different ways to do it. You know, I don't know
Yeah.
what's saying anything's better is tough, I guess, right? But
Yeah. No. I don't know why that came out of my mouth in general.
yeah, I know what you mean though. Like on Reverb, there is a freeze function. I'll put it on the wind chimes. So let's unmute. So I got just this reverb on here, but if you click freeze, that captures the sound of the reverb. It's a little bit different than Frostbite's, but that's gonna just do reverb forever,
Yeah.
and that can be cool too. Again, like you could start playing around with this now. You could put effects on it. We could do our auto filter if we want. Maybe, let's see. There we go. So we're not hearing the wind chimes really. We're just hearing the reverb. It's like something like rhythmic that goes along. We got like these two different types of freezes going on. One from Ableton's reverb and the other one from Frostbite. So we could just put this also on this track too. Now they're both moving with the I like that it's just sort of those sounds are there's so much movement going on there, and they're just kind of like living off in the background while I can just sort of play over it. And it's still going. This reverb is still frozen. It will play forever until you hit the button. Delay also has that too. Delay has a freeze on it also. So I think this is what it is now, right? Yep, it's now infinity. All right. So if I just hit that, that should go on forever. You can play around with those too, which is fun. But that'll go on forever. Then you can do whatever you want. You can record it. You can mangle it after you've done that. You put it in the granulator if you want. You put it in the sampler. Good stuff. Yeah, these the freezing parameters I think is like a really cool way to make um, stuff happen in your music. Like you could take like a vocal, say, and freeze the reverb, and then use that to like swell into the vocal. Like you can record that and then put it before the vocal comes in and like fade it in, so it sounds like the vocals like swelling in, like that kind of reverb effect that you hear sometimes on vocals where it almost like comes before the voice. Um, yeah, or just like build a whole new section out of just that. You could have like parts of your song, you know, maybe it's a loud section, and then right before it gets quiet, freeze the reverb, and then it's this sort of like dreamy world that's hanging out frozen over like maybe like a little breakdown or something like that. Whatever you can imagine, I guess you can do. Oh, cool. What do you guys think? Any last thoughts before we call it a night? Cool, cool. Glad you guys liked it. I'm reading the chat here. Intro swell. Yeah, yeah. For intros, yeah. Using those as swells. Yeah, anytime you want something to kind of like have. Sometimes it's nice to have like sound, but not, you know, not like this is so. It's so like rhythmic and um it's like a familiar sound, but having these just weird like swells, like what is that? What is this weird sound we're hearing? It's interesting, and it makes, I think, like the keys that are a little ordinary sounding sound more interesting because they've got something strange going on. Yeah, too many instruments. Nice. Well, I'm glad you guys made it out to hang out and chat. Um, the next one on it's July 20th. That's just a Monday, right? Let's pull that up so I'm sure here. July 20th. Yeah, that one is going to be about like hardware synths. So I think that can be kind of fun, and of course you could apply these effects to hardware synths. I think that's something I want to spend a little time on, is like once you have like your hardware plugged in, then put some of the cool effects that we have inside of Live and plugins and whatever on those sounds, and build instrument racks so that you can just drop them in and you've got your hardware and then you've got your effects right after it, so it's nice and easy to work. So that'll be the subject um, for next time. And again, like if anything comes up too, you know, we can definitely talk about it. So yeah, I look forward to that. So thank you guys for hanging out. And yeah, I'll see you in the Discord and catch you on the next meeting.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
All right, cool. Let's say goodnight. The chat here.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. It was really nice fooling around, playing, making some music together. So talk to you soon.
See you, man.
Take care.